Okay, this is video 3 on Visual Basic 2 or Visual Studio 2019 using this book right here. Page 50, at least in PDL or PDF. Actually, it starts on page 10, I think. So it's page 10 to page 22. If you want to get this book and follow along, it's good. It shows everything that I'm not going to discuss. Maybe it's page up to page 24. So dragging this away, I'm just going to kind of highlight what the book says, and I think it's a good way to learn. It's free. So first of all, we have a form, we have a label, a text box, a button, a button. So it says hello user, also the file name. So if you click here, it says hello. You can name it, the file right here, file name, hello user dot hello user one. We'll just leave that. So that then we'll go to the label. You can see it says label, and then in the text properties of the properties. This is the property window. So enter your name. So you type that in there. Make sure you push enter every time you add something. So enter your name, and then we have to give a name. I think it's called a design name. Let's see the design name. So we'll just change this just to show you how to do it. LVL. Enter. Okay. So the design name of this is button OK. So I'll go up to, sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. I missed it. So the text button is called OK. Exit, the design name is BTN exit. This is a way to, the reason this design name is so when you're in the code window that you can kind of identify where you are. And then you notice the design is highlighted up here. So we're in this, kind of this, and this are all tied together. So we went down before, let's see, we went up before, exit. Okay, so there's basically these are called controls. So we put a control, and Visual Basic builds all the complicated code. We're just adding parts to do something with the controls they already created. So if I click start, I'll go back and explain it. So I'm just gonna enter my name. I'm gonna click OK, and then I'm gonna click exit, and the window closes, and also the code closed. So now if we, I'm gonna show you some things that are confusing here. So if I click, now we want to open the code window. So if I open this, well, I've already opened it, but basically you need to click almost you need to click every one of these if you want to see all the code. Now, if you're following the book, it'll go into more detail. But I just want to show you there is, I was saying there's five blocks of code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you notice that what we typed as a, let's see, how do I say this? In the properties name, I typed in the design properties design window, I called it button OK, so I know that this is that piece of code. And button exit, I know this is that piece of code. For the exit button, for the OK button. The text box, we know that's the text box piece of code. And we know, and we name in the design window, we know this is the label. So I copied this, let me put a space in here. I copied this text from the code, so we're just going to go back because I don't see the comments in here that was in the code. I'm just going to go back, drag this over here, show you how I do it. Again, it's the PDF page numbers don't line up with the page numbers in the form, so we're just going to look for oops. So this piece is not here. So I'm just going to add this in. This is an example. You could copy all this right in there, but it's a good habit to type it in yourself. It helps you understand. So I'm just going to copy this, drag this back over here. So basically, in this I don't know how good this shows up on the video, but in this color with a comma or whatever you call this hyphen up above, this won't show up in code. This is just notes to yourself. So I could basically put a note here, for instance. Don't need to add any code. Don't need to add any code. Don't need to add any code. But what it's saying is, and you notice it's different colors. So as I highlight over this, it's called class. This is called a function. So that's a function of this class. Let's go up here. That's the class. So this is a function of the HelloUser class. So if I was to, I'll just type this in. So if I just type ME, notice that a message box shows up. So if I can click, I think I can click that, just push enter, push dot, there's show, so I can push, click, notice I've got a star here too. So I'm just going to push enter. Now it screwed all this code up. I mean, this should be inside this box. So I'm just going to go back. Anyway, I'm just showing you that these colors mean different things. You really should do your own. You can enter it like I did, but it's hard to learn that way unless you have like a photographic memory. But anyway, so what we have here is we have hello user load. This is the form. This is button OK. This is button exit again. This is the text box, and this is the label. So we start. So if you notice up here, it says there's a parentheses and a parentheses, and then also we have a parentheses starting here and a parentheses ending here. So basically, all the code inside this is going to go up into here and being incorporated, I guess you could call it. And that's how it's passed. So anyway, just you notice, well, I can't get into this right now. But anyway, so we start out with the red is text that we add. I forget where I left off in the last video. The last video I was ahead in different pages, but I decided to go back basically to the beginning. So with the quote marks, we enter the quote marks and we wrote hello, end quote, and or ampersand they call it. I call it N, but it's an ampersand. So it says hello, we type this in, and textbox.text. This basically means that if we go down to the textbox.text, when we enter information into the text box .text change, when we enter a name into the text box, it basically calls, this is basically calling this information up to here. And then we use the ampersand again, which is basically, this is a string. This is used in a string, that's for another story, another video. And so it's a way to hook everything together. It's called a concatenation or something like that. It basically means tie everything together. And then with more quotes again, thanks for entering your name, end quote. So, and then we put a comma here. This comma, I don't even know if this is in the book, but this comma means that after the comma, we type in, again, this is red, it's in quotation marks. This, I just wrote this in. This should show up at the top of the message box. So I'm just going to change that. No, I won't change that. And then, okay, so here's the end of the bucket, I call it. So everything inside here is going to happen when we click button OK. I hope that makes sense. Then I'll go down to this button next. But anyway, so start. Okay, we have the label, which was basically just enter your name. I'll type in Robert. Now, if you remember this, when I click OK, which is the button OK, it's gonna call up this information from the text box .text, which is, I don't know if I can scroll down with this. I can't, but that's what it's going to do. So I'm going to go OK. Okay, you notice it says hello. So it's, again, here's the beginning of the bucket. That's the way I like to remember it. The quotation marks, you can't see the quotation marks, but you can see it. It says hello. End of quotation. We're calling up, to me, we're calling up the text box information, which is Robert. And quotation marks, thanks for entering your name. Quotation mark. I'm just going to call it a comma. this should show up at the top of the box. So this did show up at the top of the box. Okay, we'll close that. Now there's another button, there's an exit button. So in the book it says me, I think it says me.close, but this is basically saying close this bucket of information and the program. But if I put me, that's like in the book, let me stop running this program. That's how you stop it, or one way to stop it. So if I type in now, there's some different things that have changed in the way Microsoft uses certain names since 2008. But it does work. This was in the book. But in 2019, there's this little light bulb that shows up. So you just have to be, I'd say you just play around with these things. And you notice there's a little yellow line here. So if we click this, it's saying, I can't point at it with my finger, but it's saying, let's see how I can do it. Name can be simplified. So it's saying we can take me.close and change it to close. So I'm just going to push enter. So watch right above it where it says me.close. So close works now. Basically, they just shorten the code. So, and again, there's little hints all over here, and there's also little shapes. You see that box in this open box below? It says there's like a three-dimensional box that says so it closes the form. There's little bits of information all over this. Okay, so when we click the box, it's going to grab this piece of code and it's going to close it. I guess I should point out that up here, again, this is a lot to take in, I think. I mean, it looks simple, but try, for instance, try doing all this without looking at the book. Just start typing and see if you can remember all these little signs or syntax. But up here, you know, so there's 5 different, what this is showing is there's 5 parts to this program we made. And you know, again, if you look up all these signs, and I don't remember what they all mean anymore, it's been a while since I did this, but this is an event. So the form is the event. And you notice that there's a little brick here, it looks like a brick. I think this means methods. So there's 4 methods in this event. So let's just go down to button exit and see if it's what it says. It just says with event. Sub hello user. Basically sub means remember. So I don't know what more I can really do here in this one lesson. We'll go back to here. Well, sometimes, okay, let's go back here. So sometimes it'll drive you crazy. You're thinking to yourself, what does all this mean? What is all this stuff? So for instance, I could highlight private. Well, first I'll try pushing Control F1. We'll see what happens. Control F1. It opened up on my other screen. And we could type and we could paste in what we just Well, I don't know if I copied it, so let me drag this back. Copy or Control C. I'm just showing you how to use help. So you could, this is one way. Enter. Make this bigger. For the heck of it, let's just see if we can write private VB, meaning Visual Basic. That didn't really do anything, but it'll explain to you something. But you know, this isn't a C. So I'm going to drag this out of the way again. I'm going to go to Help. Okay, it says Control F1. I think, let's see, we just push Control F1. So we need to go to Set Help Preferences and launch in Help Viewer. So we'll do, let's try doing Control F1 again. See the difference? Now we'll do Paste, Private. Just going to click that, Enter. Private, again, C, Private Galleries, Private Visual Basic. This will kind of give you, eventually in the book it'll explain all this stuff, but I'm just going to read this. Specifies that one or more declared programming elements are accessible only from within their declaration context, including from within any contained types. Again, we'll get into that later on. I'm just showing you that there is a help, and I showed you how to go to set your help preferences. Now, another thing is when you load this program, you might not get help. You might, in other words, you have to add, when you download Visual Studio, you want to go in, which is not a really apparent window. You want to add, let's see if I can show you. You want to look for this, if I can find it. Well, basically, if you don't have it, it says remove. A lot of times these will just say add. So these are all the things that are in help. So you want to make sure you have that clicked. If it says add, click add and update. I think when you click add, it's going to move over to here. I forget now. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this program. There's a couple ways you can do it. I think we made a couple changes. I think I went over everything that we're going to go over this time. So I can click here. So we'll close it here. Save changes. Yes, save. So we're going to pretend like, well, we're not going to pretend we're doing it. So we're starting it. So here is that program. So we can click that and it'll open, or we can go to create a new project. So again, I'm not going to do this in every video, but if you don't have this here yet, this is because I used this to make the last program. If you type in Windows Form app up here, let's just see what happens. .NET. So what you want to do is you want to find that. So Windows Form .NET Framework. This is the one you want to click. Next, and then it'll add you to name it. So we are going to I'm going to go back. So I just want to show you that I named it pages 10 through 22. So we'll see if that shows up in this window. Yes. So when you name it in the very beginning, I just call it 10 through 22. So that means 10 through 22 in this book. And you notice the controls, there's no controls shown when the code is open, but if you click this, well, it's not open. So if I click, let's double click it. Not sure why the controls, well, they're there. Now they're showing up. Common controls. There's all kinds of different things that we could do, but we're just working with common controls. If that isn't in there when you start your program, go to View, Toolbox. So let's say you get all this opened up and you like the way it looks. Go to, you like the arrangement of your windows. You can go up here and go Window, Save Window Layout. I'll just click it. It's asked me to give it a new name, but it's actually it's actually layout 1, so I'm just going to say cancel. What else is there in here right now? If there's anything that is important. Oh, over here, this A to Z, this will list everything alphabetically. So I guess that's enough for this video. So again, that's page 10 for 10 through 22. I think I covered everything in here. We could also make this smaller. So that's it. I think we'll call this video 3, I believe. I go down here because I got to stop in the video.